Okay, so we're going to get started on cell cycle and division. If you were in class, I did show a music video with some random dude singing about mitosis and the chromosomal ride. But it's a cute and catchy song, but the best part about it is that it is so packed with information. If you know that song, or if you're great at learning the words to songs, learn that one because it's got everything that we're going to cover in that song. But besides that, let's get on to our notes. Cell division. All cells are derived from pre-existing cells. That means we have to have a cell first to get more cells. A cell is going to divide. We have one cell, it divides and it makes two. And those two cells divide to make four. And it goes on and on and on, each of those dividing to make duplicates. Cell division is this process by which cells produce new cells. Like it says, we have an old cell, and it's going to double itself, split in two, is going to make new cells. Cell division differs in prokaryotes, or bacteria, and eukaryotes, which is protists, fungi, plants, animals. If you remember back when we were going over cells, pro means no. So this bacteria, that's a prokaryote, it doesn't have a nucleus, so it's not going to go through mitosis, which is the division of the nucleus. But eukaryotes, in other words, do, our protists, fungi, plants, animals, all that, we do go through mitosis, which is talking about all the division of our chromosomes. So cells grow in number and not size. Our cells are not going to get larger and larger and larger and larger. No, they're going to get to a certain point where they have to divide. And then we'll have two cells. How often do cells divide? Well, it really depends on the cell itself. Some cells must be repaired often, such as your intestines and white blood cells that are constantly going out and fighting off all diseases. Skin cells. We get a new layer of skin cells every 7 years. So you talk about the entire body of skin, the outer layer, gets replaced in 7 years. All of these have a rather short lifespan compared to the others, which is they don't divide, such as your muscle cells, nerve cells, brain cells, even female egg cells. So while some cells will divide often, some cells don't divide at all. So it really depends on what cell you're talking about. Now, there are reasons for cell division. Cell growth. Remember I said our cells are not going to grow and get larger and larger and larger? No, it's inefficient. It doesn't work that way. It's harder for the cell to maintain homeostasis the larger it gets. So for cell transport purposes and all that, we're going to divide cells instead of continuously growing larger. Another reason for cell division is to repair and replace damaged in cell parts. In other words, you get a cut, you've just damaged the cells there, and so they're going to have to replace themselves, and that's why you get a new scar tissue come up over your cell, over your other damaged area, the cut. And also, we're going to divide because, let's just face it, we have to have reproduction of the species. You know, things are going to have to make more of itself, or else everything's going to die out. So cell growth, our cells can only get so large before it has to divide. We're constantly repairing and replacing damaged cell parts. And then there's the reproduction of the species. Those are all important reasons for division. So chromosomes and their structure. The plans for making cells are coded in their DNA. Each cell inside the nucleus of a cell has DNA. And most of the time we see that DNA as chromosomes. So DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, but it's just a really long, thin molecule. It actually reaches 6 feet long. All the DNA in only one cell, in one nucleus, in one cell, reaches 6 feet of genetic material. But all that is packaged tightly into what we usually see inside our cells, that X shape, that's the chromosome. So DNA is organized into chromosomes. So chromosomes are made of a protein and a long, single, tightly coiled DNA molecule visible only when the cell divides. So it's kind of like this. You have your DNA, your double helix, right? This is our double helix, and that's going to wrap around a protein. And then that is going to come together even more into another coil. And it's going to coil and coil and coil until it comes into the shape that we all know as the chromosome. But it is 6 feet of this DNA wrapped up really, 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 really tight inside that cell nucleus. And that's why it's got to be in the chromosome shape. But when a cell is not dividing, the chromosome, that X, is less visible. We don't see an X at that point in time. Instead, we see the chromatin. Now, the thing about it is, you can think of the chromatin as being this long, kind of just straighter line. And then it's going to get packed up, and that chromatin packs in even more to become that chromatid we're about to talk about. Okay, so here's another one. A centromere holds duplicated chromosomes together until they are separated in a cell division. Here's the thing I want you to remember. If it says centromere, the part about it is center. In other words, you see the X shape, the thing that's holding it together in the middle, that's your centromere. So when the DNA makes copies of itself before cell division, it goes from being that chromatin, the long line, and it's going to get packed in together more to become our chromatid. Okay, we got a lot of C words going around. Your centromere is going to hold two sides together right here. Okay, and our chromatin, that long string that's kind of just out and about, is going to get packed to make a chromatid. And we have two chromatids, that's why they're called sister, that's going to come together to make our X shape, which all of that together is the chromosome. Okay? Remember, they are identical. That means they have all the same information. What one side, what one chromatid has, the other has as well. And that's really important for us to remember. It's identical because that's going to be split apart during division. All right, so here is an image of what the chromosome looks like. So the entire thing here is your chromosome. Now here again, center. All right, let's not do it right over the word. But our center is pointing to this thing that is holding it all together in the middle. One side is a chromatid, but all of that together is the chromosome. Okay, so that's how the entire shape is made. You have the chromatid, comes together two of them, and the centromere to make the chromosome. So here's another thing. Inside the cell, you see the nucleus. And inside the nucleus, we see our chromosomes. And what's inside the chromosomes is that DNA, the genetic information that is so important it's the blueprints of life. It tells us what to do and how to do it, what to build and when to build it. So it is very important information, but it's all packaged into these chromosomes. All right, chromosome numbers. The human somatic body. Okay, somatic means body. So human body cells have 23 pairs of chromosomes, or 46 chromosomes. Okay, 23 times 2 is 46. Okay, so when you say diploid, DI means 2. So DI means 2. 2 times 23 gives us 46. And that's why you will be seeing diploid or haploid a lot, but diploid means 2 pairs. So it's 2 or a pair of however many chromosomes we have. the chromatids, two chromatids of a chromosome pair, okay, that means this is a chromatid, this is a chromatid. Those are called homologous. Now the big key word here, H-O-M-O, homo. That means same or identical. If you think about it, we went back and if you have hetero, like heterotroph, that means different. Homologous, they are the same or identical. So these two chromatids you see in a chromosome, they're going to have genes that have the same trait in the exact same location. They are homologous. That's a key word that we really need to remember. Okay? If they are homologous, they are exactly the same. The human reproductive cell, that means what comes together, one from the male, one from the female. They only have 23 chromosomes. Okay, do you get that? We have a gamete, which is a sperm or an egg, one from the mom, one from the dad. They each only have 23 chromosomes, which means it is haploid, or, I don't like that color, half of the usual amount. So that means that instead of having 46 chromosomes in all, the gamete cells only have 23. Because guess what's going to happen? Your sperm of 23 comes together with the egg of 23, and what do we get out of that? The full 46 that is in the human body, that somatic cell. Okay? So every organism has a specific chromosome number. We have 46. Fruit flies only have 8. Lettuce only has 14. Goldfish, surprisingly, has 94. So it's very specific for each organism. Anyway, we're going to stop here for the day. I hope that you can all get a lot out of these videos. I'm going to continue doing them. I will also post that music video in Canvas, but we'll just keep on till tomorrow.